children, good morning. Welcome back to online classes. So today we'll continue with our chapter number 8, The Glory of Bharatvarsha. So in previous lecture we completed up to Ancient India Rural Life. So in that what was there? North India life and South India. In North India what it is there? That Gram Bhojak is there who is holding the biggest land in the village. And the Gram Bhojak who became it keep by generation to generation. And he collect revenue from the farmers by the rules and regulations of the king. And in south what is that? Three types of peoples are there: big farmers, then the farmers who can survive by themselves, or the third is servant. So today we'll continue with our life in towns. Okay, this also we have completed in PPT, then also we'll keep summary only. Life in towns. Most of the cities were capital of Mahajanpads about 250 years ago. These cities were protected by fortification. Spherical wells have been formed many cities. So it is covered with spherical wells fortification like that. The double circle is there. Spherical means it is a shape, spear like shape it is there. It is covered, the home is covered and the all things are covered like that spherical wells from many cities, which were known as wells. These wells were used for toilets, drains, and dustbin. So these are covered for toilets, drains, and dustbin. People in rural areas and urban areas used wheat, barley, rice, milk, curd, ghee, fruit, etc. as meat and fish for eating purpose. So what the people of urban areas used at that time, rural and urban both. Still we are using that barley, rice, curd, ghee. So this is our main food. Usually man and woman wore two clothes. The clothes they wore on the lower part of the it's called nevi. That we are in lower part. You know the lower part. It is called as nevi, and the clothes worn up in the upper body was called vas. So upper body cloth is called vas and lower body is called nevi. Sometimes it was wrapped as a cloth like dupatta around upper part, which were called adivas. So this is called dupatta, half only set. It is known as adivas. Lower part it is called as nevi, upper part it is called as vas. And the dupatta like that it is there, then it is known as adivas. Ancient India art. Two types of art is there. One is fine art, second is performing art. So fine arts what it include? Painting, anything made with clay, architect, music, clay art, drawing, literature, etc. It is coming fine arts. And performing like dance, drama, etc. Literature in Hindi. Indian literature is divided into three sections: religious, non-religious, description by foreign travelers. So Indian literature, how many ways? Three. First is religious, non-religious, and by description by foreign travelers. Religious literature. The Vedas are included in the oldest literature of India. There are four Vedas. So religious literature there are four Vedas: Rig Ved, Samved, Atharva Ved, and Yajurved. Samved and Atharva Ved. These four are there. Brahmin texts and Ayanaks were created to explain the Vedas, in which Stapt Brahmin, Gopath Brahmin, and Brihant Dhyanak may consider as the most important. So four Vedas are there. So Brahmin texts and Aryanaks were used to explain the Vedas, in which Tapt Brahmin, Gopath Brahmin, and Brihma may be considered as the most important. If these three is there in Vedas, these three are important. Apart from this, Ramayana and Mahabharata epics are a triangular confluence of ancient India, society, culture, and religion. Ramayana and Mahabharata is a religious literature, and it is the most important literature we can say. Mahabharata, written by Ved Vyas, was initially known as Jai Samhita. So Mahabharata was written by whom? Ved Vyas, and it is also known as Jai Samhita, which kept on increasing. The 1 lakh shlokas in Mahabharata was created. So it is increasing up to 1 lakh shlokas and was created. Similarly, Ramayana written by Valmiki depicts social lives and moral standard along with Sri Ram's story. So every literature, every Ved and everything, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Vedas have taught us great things about lives, and it is written about moral values of life and social life. So first Mahabharata was written by Vedvyas known as Chaisahita, and Ramayana was written by Valmiki. About 108 Upanishads of original Indian complexion, Katha, Kena, Prashna, Mundak, Mundakya, Ishwaryam and Chandogya. Upanishads are a great text of Indian philosophy. So these are the name. About 108 Upanishads are there. So out of that original Indian compilation like Katha, Kina, Prasna, Mundak, Mundakya, Ishavasham, Sha, and Chandoga are the great text of Indian philosophy. Out of 108, these are the original and great text which are most important. The number of Puranas is 18. So the number of Puranas is 18 and Upanishad is about 180. Among them, Vishnu Purana, Garu Purana, Vayu Purana and Matsya Purana as well as Bhagavata are known as a special text. So out of 18 Puranas, Vishnu Purana, Garud Puranas, Vayu Purana and Matsya Purana are Bhagavad are also known as a special text. So if this Vishnu God, you know that Vishnu Purana itself. Matsya means fish Puranas. Garud, you know, you have seen only that is known as Garud Purana, Vayu, that is air and that Puranas. So these out of 80, among 18 Puranas, these are special text. We find information about life and religions in Buddha and Jain text. The original text of Buddhism are called Tripitaka. It includes Sukta Pitaka. So the original text of Buddhism are called Tripitaka and it includes Sukta Pitaka. Vinaya Pitaka and Abhidham Pitaka along with his Didhankya, Anguttara Nikaya and Majjhima Nikaya are other important texts. So these are the name of the texts which are important in Buddhism. Milind Panho of Naksen and Srimulk Panho of Arya Manjishi are important Buddhist texts. So these all are the names of the text of Buddhas which are important to them. So this you have to remember. You try to write it and remember it so you can better understand it. Two of Buddhism texts written in Tibetan language are Kangyur and Tengyur. So you can let it in language Tibetan Tangyur and Kangyur, like this two is there in this. Then which is the original text? Tripitaka, it included Sukta Pitaka. Like that you have to revise in mind and then you learn. Jatak stories. Nidhankyo, Maja, Kaya are also Buddhist texts. In addition, Brihad Katha, Harivansh Puram, Vasudevidhi, Siddhmeshab, Danshuban, Vasharya and Kirti Kaumundi are main texts. These are the name of the texts which are important in Buddhism. So these all texts, out of them, half of the texts are covered in 5th chapter only, that is of Buddha. So you know only very well. Then also here it is given in detail. Jain text also called Agam text. Buddhism text, main original text is known as Tripitaka. And Jain texts are called as Agam texts. There are 12 Agam Granths. The ancient Jain literature is divided into 14 purvs and 12 texts Angana. The main texts include Agams, Acharya Gana and with this Dashvitika Sutra, Dasavitarik Sutra. So Jain text is known as Agam text. 12 type of text is there and it is divided into 14 purvs and 12 Agna. So the main text of Agam include Acharanga and Vittist Dashavitik Sutra. So this is the main text of Jain. Non-religious literature. Literacy texts whose content is other than religious are called non-religious literature. They mostly include poems, dramas, accolades, that is prashasthiyo, grammar, and smritis. So religious, what is come? Ramayana, Mahabharata, Buddhist literature, what is there in Buddhist? In what is it is the original text is known as Tripitaka. Then Jain text, that is known as Agam text. It is of all religion. It is coming. Buddhism is a religion, Jain is a religion, Hinduism religion. So this all is about religious, and now we are studying about non-religions. So non-religious literature include drama, poems, prasasthiyo, grammar text, then smritis, etc. Smritis are a Hindu law text. It is known as a Hindu law text. That all law are written is known as smritis. They include Manu Smriti, Yagnavalkya Smriti, Narad Smriti, Kautilya Arthashastra is also a law text. Smriti, it is about law system, you know. So, and Kautilya Arthashastra is a law book. It is known as about economics. It gives about the study of whole economic. So, this is our coming in non-religious literature. A large number of plays and poems were written in ancient India. This include great poets like Mahakavi Bhas, Kalidas, Shudrak, Bhairavi, etc. Among such important epics are Abhigyan Shakuntala, Raghuvansham, Meghdootam, Kirtarjunam, Swapna Swadatam, and Mitcha Kartikam are included. So many great poems and poets are there. Among them, Kalidas is known as very well. We have studied also about Kalidas in Gupta Sage also. So these all are the play and epics which are important and which was very famous at that time. So if you ask our parents also, in their study also these things are coming about Kalidas, about Shudrak, Bhairavi. This was very ancient, so all people know. So this the epics you have to remember. Abhigyan Shakuntala is the best play of Kalidas. Raghuvansham, Meghdootam, these all are the best epic among the various epic. So these are the non-religious. Now in South India, a special literature called Sangam literature was composed. It was composed in first 3 centuries. So South India literature called Sangam. So it was composed in first 3 centuries. About 1600 folk poets composed heroic poems in 3 Sangams, 3 meetings in Madurai. In this literature, Shilpakadikaram, Manimekalani are very important. So about 1600 folk poets composed are there in first 3 century in Madurai, and these three are in these two, Shilpakadikaram and Manimekalikaram are important in Sangam literature. Best grammar text in Sanskrit is Panini Ashtadhyayi, which was composed in 5th century BC. Ashoka's inscription also inform us about administration during Mauryan Empire and ethical rules of Buddhist religion of ancient India. So, in Sangam literature, it was composed in 3rd century, and the grammar text Panini Ashtadhyayi, which was composed in 5th century. So at that time, Ashoka's inscription also important, give information about the Buddhist literature, Mauryan Empire, and ethical rules of Buddhist religion of ancient India. So rules of Buddhist literature we can know from the Mauryan Ashoka's inscriptions, and about during the Mauryan Empire, these things we can find. Citation poetry and text developed greatly during Gupta's age. Harisen was the writer of Samudragupta's Prayag Prashasti. So who is the writer? Harisen. Virsen Sabha was the writer of Prashakti of Chandragupta II of Udaygiri. Bana has praised Harsh in Harsh Charitra. So this is the name of given and all the things about non-religious. But in this poem, epics, all these things comes. You have to remember the name of the person and their epics, and which are the important texts in that time. So we have studied about religious also and non-religious. So from next lecture we'll study about description by foreign travelers. Okay, thank you. Read this so you can understand it. Thank you, children.